Good evening, everyone. I am Mark, your fat friend,
And I'm James, your black friend,
and this is the Fat and Black Connection.
where we talk about anything and everything. Well, as long as it's interesting to your boys.
Absolutely, because if it's not interesting to us, it shouldn't be interesting to you. So, James, this is a live interactive broadcast. It says it up in the little corner there and the
Yeah, sir.
title of everything, right? So,
Right.
and it says 11/2/22.
Yeah.
So, what does live interactive broadcast mean to you?
That means that today, 11/2/22, we are live and in effect. And we want your comments. We see we already got some coming in right now. So you
Indeed.
make sure you get in there too. And you help us, we answer some questions you might have. And sometimes, it even changes the direction of the show.
Show enough. Show enough.
Show enough.
Yeah, and Tyrus is here. He's on his way home. He's driving and somehow evidently messaging on YouTube. So uh, that's disconcerting.
Oh man.
So as you can see, we've got a little festive atmosphere here at Fat and Black.
The day after.
Yeah, better late than never, right?
Yeah, why not?
So how was your Halloween?
Um I worked. I mean, I went out the weekend before. I didn't really dress up or anything, but there were
Well,
some
yeah,
people
nobody
dressed up.
really dresses up the weekend before.
No, I mean, like there was like this past weekend. So like I went out Friday night.
Oh,
And
okay.
yeah, I went out Friday night, and they'd been having some festivities at some of the places. So
Where
yeah,
did you go?
I went to Blue Martini, and then I went to this other spot. I don't even remember the name of, but it was not the business. I didn't care for it at all.
And who
Blue
did you
Mart.
go with?
I went with a couple friends, my buddy Rick and John and Amanda and one of her friends. I can't remember her name right now. I feel really bad. I think it was Sarah or something like that. If you're watching, I apologize. And then there was one more person, and I can't remember her name right now either. So I'm really bad. I'm really bad at names, and I've like met them on. I met like a couple of these people only once, so it was like, so I feel bad, but
So at the end of last episode, we talked about you had swiped right on someone and we're chatting. Is that still ongoing?
Yeah, we actually talked yesterday. We never talked today, but we are going. We've talked about doing a video call tomorrow.
Nice. And so this person is not located in Vegas.
No, she comes out here quite often though. She has some friends that live out here, so but yeah, she lives like I guess it's the Inland Empire. I guess it's
Ah,
considered. So
yes.
yeah, so she works from home. Like a lot of people right now. So she actually is. So she comes out here quite often. So yeah.
And Tyrus claims that he has an authentic Star Wars Sith Lord costume that he got from Disneyland 3 years ago and still hasn't worn it. Does it fit?
I wasn't gonna go there. But yeah, that would be my question at this point.
I mean, if you haven't worn it in 3 years, then the only thing I can think is COVID and it doesn't fit.
Give you a reason. Get you a reason to get out there.
Yeah.
Bring that down, Brett. You
Yeah.
got this. Next
So
year, baby.
So actually, kind of interesting. Tyrus set up a perfect segue for me because something that I wanted to talk about early on in the episode is some exclusive items that have early access purchase ability for Disney Plus members on the Disney Shop store or Shop Disney, and I I'm amazed at some of these items, and so I want to share not all of them, just a couple of them, and a
Okay.
couple of them because I'm sure you are interested.
Yeah.
Um, so let's bring that up, shall we? First up, the Legacy lightsaber dark saber set.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So this thing is pretty impressive.
Yo.
$250. Um, I saw this and instantly was like, here, take my money.
That is really nice.
Yeah, I love the way that it looks. I can
The
only
black
imagine.
with the yeah. I mean, it looks like the one in the show for the most part. The blade looks a little thinner, but
I can only imagine that from like a price perspective, at $250,
that's,
you're
that's
probably
a
getting
low.
worth.
Yeah, that's on. That seems kind of low for me.
Yeah, they've got a couple of things. Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi Battle of the Heroes lightsaber set. So it comes in a
What?
nice box. It has Obi's lightsaber and Anakin's lightsaber from the Battle of Mustafar.
Oh, okay.
I've got the high ground.
Oh, yeah. That
And
was.
of course we have my wife checking in, hating on the dark saber. Um, there's also
What did she have against the dark saber?
this one's kind of interesting. Let me bring this up. So this is a set of Ahsoka Tano hilts, lightsaber hilts that are signed by Ashley Eckstein, the
Which
voice
was
of
the
Ahsoka
voice of Ahsoka.
in the Clone Wars. Yeah,
Yeah, those are
uh,
nice. I mean, I don't. I mean, because you remember that guy that we met. That guy that we met at the Cantina bar. He had Ahsoka's lightsabers, but he had the
mhm.
full things.
Yeah, and so these are just hilts,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of like for $400.
I mean, the only reason is because they're signed. I guarantee you.
Oh well, yeah. I mean that I would imagine plays into it. I still don't know if it's worth $400 though.
No, not for the hilts. Like if I had, if it came with like the actual the lightsaber portion, the
Mhm.
blade portion, then maybe. But
Yeah, and this one, okay, I could see this figurine probably being like $20 on its own, and so for it to be signed by Ashley Eckstein, for it to be $50, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair
and
price.
actually, I think this is the first time I've even seen Ahsoka figures. I don't. I mean, I used to see Star Wars figurines quite often, in some of the Walmarts because I wasn't near the toy section, but as I was leaving or whatever, I'd have to pass through toy sections. And yeah, I don't remember ever seeing any Ahsoka action figures. So
Yeah.
that's kind of cool.
Yeah, so this next one, from a price standpoint, it's like, okay, it looks kind of clean, but I'm like, eh. So it's the Doctor Strange cloak for adults.
What? How much is $100, bro? That thing better fly to me.
I'm sorry, you're on board with $400 for hilts, but you're not on board with $100 cloak.
I mean, I guess I'm just not about the cloak. I mean, no, I'm saying I'm not even about the $400 hilts. I'm just saying like the cloak. I mean, like, I mean, I don't know.
So here's the one.
It's not signed by Benedict Cumberbatch though. So
that's true. Here's the one. When I first saw this thing show up, I saw a picture of it a couple days ago, and I was like, "Oh man, I want that." This is the first time I saw the price tag attached. I definitely don't want it anymore. Oop, hold up. Technical difficulties.
Oh no.
So this
$400? No,
this is a Captain Carter shield. It's a limited release. $400. It's a good size, 24 inches in diameter.
Oh, it is nice. Don't get me wrong, but yeah.
Yeah. It says it's a vibranium shield, so
Okay.
And these last couple just for you. And actually I like one of them, and I'll be interested to see if you can figure out which one it is. But I knew you'd want to see these, and I'm sure Tyrus would want to see these as well.
Oh.
Black Panther collectible mask from the world of Wakanda, $150.
All right. I dig it.
Comes with the stand. Or you can see it's got the little hook, so you can mount it on your wall.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of cool.
Yeah. I had a feeling you might be down for that. Next up is the Wakanda Forever Artist Series jacket, $80.
It's a zip up.
Yes, it's not a hoodie.
No,
it is a zip.
Oh, good. It's a jacket.
It looks like it has front pockets.
Yeah, that's not bad. Not a bad jacket. How much was that one?
That was $80.
Oh, that's a Disney jacket. So yeah.
And lastly, we have the World of Wakanda puzzle, a
No,
thousand pieces.
that's the one you like.
This is $25. Uh, I do like it in the idea of I like building puzzles, but actually for me it was the mask.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought because when you said puzzle, I was like, oh, then that has to be it.
No, because I think the mask transcends nerdom. So you could have it up on your wall and people
It
would be
and
like,
it looks like an art piece. Like it,
yeah,
yeah,
exactly. It
yeah. It
doesn't
looks
just
like
have
an
to
art.
be you're a nerd like we are.
Right. Hey, what are you drinking tonight, bro?
Right now I'm drinking a Kirkland signature lime hard seltzer.
I'm trying to decide. I have four different flavors. I have a lemonade, a blueberry lemonade, a strawberry lemonade, and a watermelon lemonade.
So it sounds like a lot of lemonade. So I'd just say start there.
The regular one?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, these are new. I just found these. These are simply spiked. So simply lemonade spiked.
Oh,
Yeah.
I like Simply Lemonade. So
Yeah, so I just found these. Like I said, there's four different flavors in the box that I grabbed. There's a blueberry, strawberry, and a watermelon lemonade. This and the regular lemonade. So I'm gonna start out with the regular lemonade. See what this is about.
it's got a hard crack there, huh?
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's real good.
And so it is. Is it a lemonade or is it a seltzer?
No, these are lemonades. So these are kind of, I guess you could compare them to Mike's, but
Hmm.
made with actual like simply like how simply lemonade makes or how simply makes their juices. It's more like that. I mean, it has 5% juice, so
Yes, and just a quick reminder to the millions and millions of viewers that are out there watching right now. This is live and interactive, so please feel free to share your comments and thoughts in the chat. If
you
you've
can always
had
tell
one of
me.
these,
Yeah, you can always say if you like them. You can tell me. I'll take suggestions for the next one. Again, I got a watermelon, a strawberry, and a blueberry. Whichever one I'll open next.
all right. So we're gonna switch it up tonight. We're
Yeah.
gonna do something that we've never done before.
Okay.
And part of the reason is you and I we both live in the silver state of Nevada. And last episode we did talk about the importance of going out and voting. And we 100% agree on that. That
Yep.
it is important. Get out there, make your voice heard. We don't care what side you stand on,
Just make
or
sure you do it.
yeah. At the end of the day, many people have died for that right. So
And the thing is that if you don't vote, you cannot complain.
well, unfortunately, people still do.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
mean,
I
right.
would love to say if you don't vote, you don't get to complain, but unfortunately, I don't think people will actually do that. So, what we decided to do here at Fat and Black Connection is to actually look a little bit at the Nevada questions on the ballot. And these affect statewide. So, while I'm
Right.
in Northern Nevada, you're in Southern Nevada, we're both going to be voting on these items.
Right.
And obviously, there are other things that we'll both be voting on, governor and senator and things like that.
Right.
But I felt like for a more robust, interesting conversation, that discussing the questions
Yeah.
would be a little bit better. So,
Right. And wherever you are, make sure you look at those. Those are important because those will affect your entire state. So make sure that whatever propositions, whatever questions you have on your ballot, you check them out. You look into them and find out. Vote your conscience on those. So
yeah, absolutely. And, at the end of the day, remember that while you're one person voting, your vote does count and
yeah.
can affect the overall outcome. And
Right.
so, I agree with James. Vote your conscience, vote what you think is what's best for you, your family, and those around you.
That's
So
what it's about.
let's start with question number one, which is a Senate joint resolution from the 80th session. So I don't know if you know this, James, but the way that laws or the way that questions come into being is they actually have to pass in the Nevada state legislature
Hmm.
twice in two consecutive sessions.
Yeah, I
So,
found
and
that out. I did find that out to some of that today.
yes, and we only have sessions every 2 years.
2 years.
So before it even comes to the ballot for us to vote, it takes 4 years, basically. Then once it finally comes to the ballot for us to vote, it
It
actually
takes
has to.
another. What is it? It's two more. It's we vote on it twice,
Yes,
and
and it has
then
to pass both times.
both times, and then it takes what, another 2 years for it actually to enact,
No, it's usually the
or is it
following
the fall?
July.
Okay, so then it's only 4 years, basically.
Well, no, from the time it gets first voted on in session to the time you and I have the final, or from the time then to the
No,
time it actually gets
I'm talking about
enacted.
I'm talking about the second part.
So from the time we vote tomorrow, or
Hmm.
I'm sorry, vote next week,
Right.
to the time it, if passes, to the time it actually hits and becomes effective,
Hmm.
is so July 1st. So you're talking about 7, 8 months.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. I thought it took longer. Okay.
Yeah. So this first one, question one, is actually up. This is the second time being voted on by the people of Nevada, which means it passed the first time. If it passes this time, then it will become law.
Mm,
So
gotcha.
I've got the question as it's formally written, going across the bottom of the screen for those of you that are coming in midway. I'm going to read it one time through, but it'll still be scrolling down there across the bottom. So this is the question as it's formally written: shall the Nevada Constitution be amended by adding a specific guarantee that equality of rights under the law shall not be denied or abridged by this state or any of its cities, counties, or other political subdivisions on account of race, color, creed, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity or expression, age, disability, ancestry, or national origin? Whew.
It's a lot.
And that's actually a little bit on the shorter side.
Yeah.
Um, so the
Yeah. Number
important
two is longer.
the one of the things that I think a lot of people make the mistake of, though, is they only read the title, and that's the title of this question. The actual summary, which is what is to me more important, is where on the official ballot, when you get like your pre-ballot where you can like see
Hmm.
everything in the sample ballot. So read those summaries because that's where it's really going to tell you what happens if you vote on it. So the ballot summary for this one actually says this ballot measure would add new language to the Nevada Constitution, specifically guaranteeing the equality of rights under the law shall not be denied, as it says here, all of that. So then it explains a yes vote would amend the Nevada Constitution to add this new language. A no vote would not amend the Nevada Constitution. So this one is pretty straightforward. It's either you vote yes, and if
Yes
this
means
thing
yes. No means no.
passes, yeah, do you want
Yeah.
this to be amended into the Nevada Constitution? Um, and I'll kick off here, and I will go ahead and say that I'm not in favor of any of these kinds of laws being enacted, and here's why: the 14th Amendment of the U.S. Constitution, which dictates all states, already says that you, as a United States citizen, have these rights. So, to me, question one is nothing but pandering, and it's frankly has been a waste of taxpayers' money for all of the time that's been wasted in the legislature of them debating this question and voting on this question and then it getting onto the ballot twice. It has been a huge waste of money because it doesn't change anything ultimately within the state because the federal law already overrides the state.
Well, at the same time, well, I mean, I think it's just, yeah, they did. The only thing I was looking at, I was like, wait, the only thing they added here was, I think, was pretty much the gender identity and expression, because everything else is already there. If you look on a job application, it says, we will not discriminate against age, gender, sex, sexual orientation,
That's not a state
national.
thing, though. That's a federal
No, I
thing.
understand that, but what I'm saying is that this is one of those things that will actually because you know how it will pretty much keep it so it's equal rights for everybody within the
It
state.
doesn't change anything.
I,
These already exist because of the federal 14th Amendment.
and I understand that, but I'm saying this just makes sure that here in this state that it will be lot. I mean, yes, I understand. I mean, and even there's been questions, there's been questions about certain things that we thought were, you know, held tight, and recently been things have been overturned by the Supreme Court. So I think, for me, it's a why not? Like, let's make sure that let's put it down on paper. Let's make sure let's just enacted. I mean, at this point, we've already put them, it's been, as you say, been a waste of money, but it's already been used. So we might as well, lock it down. And I mean, like, I do agree somewhat. I mean, with the whole, the literally, like, I think the only thing that has changed on this in general is that one section, that those but 4 words: gender identity or expression. Like, that's the thing that I think has been added in there. And
No, all of this is being added because none of this currently exists within the Nevada Constitution.
oh, okay,
Because the
I didn't.
Nevada Constitution at the time and up until now has just assumed the 14th Amendment because it has to follow the 14th Amendment. So that's why I say this whole thing getting enacted, back, about 8 years ago or so, the first time it passed the legislature, it's just political theater. It's just pandering and saying, look, we're here to fight for your rights. Well, no, those rights already exist. You can codify it and put down fancy words, but it's not going to actually literally change anything.
Oh, I mean, like I said, I think it's just, if you to codify it, then we might as well codify it. That's all I'm saying. So I mean, that's how I feel about it.
But you would agree that ultimately it's probably not going to change anything.
No, I mean, like, I think it's to have it in there it's I think it's just to you're right. Some of it is pandering, of course, but I mean, in politics, what is it in some of the cases? But I think for this, it's one of those things. We just make sure, let's lock it down. Let's make sure we lock it down. We have it's in black and white there, so lock it down.
Okay. Question number 2. So this is an Assembly Joint Resolution number 10 of the 80th session. So again, this one is on the ballot, and this is its second time for the Nevada state voters. So this one says, shall the Nevada Constitution be amended effective July 1st, 2024, to establish the state's minimum wage that employers must pay to certain employees at a rate of $12 per hour worked, subject to any applicable increases above that $12 rate provided by federal law or enacted by the Nevada legislature, to remove the existing provisions setting different rates for the minimum wage based on whether the employer offers a certain health benefits to such employees, and 3, remove the existing provisions for adjusting the minimum wage based on applicable increases in the cost of living. So, a lot of fancy words there.
Yeah.
The summary, which, as I've already said, to me is kind of important, but this one is a little bit longer. But again, it's important that we fully understand what we're talking about. So, for question number 2, the summary goes as such. This ballot measure amends the Nevada Constitution to require that beginning July 1st, 2024, each employer must pay each employee to whom the minimum wage requirements apply, referred to as non-exempt employees, a minimum wage of not less than $12 per hour worked, subject to any applicable increases above 12 hours per hour worked, provided by federal law or enacted by the legislature. So just right there, to be clear, what that says is that on July 1st, 2024, if this clears, the minimum wage will be $12 an hour. But the legislature will have the right on its own to increase the minimum wage. So let's be clear there. Next, it says, this ballot measure further removes from the Nevada Constitution, effective July 1st, 2024, the existing provisions allowing an employer that offers certain health benefits to non-exempt employees to pay a minimum wage of $1 per hour less than an employee that does not offer such health benefits to non-exempt employees. So, for example, you and I, we've worked in the restaurant industry. A
Right.
server who's a tipped employee, let's say making now $12 an hour, will make $12 an hour even if they're getting health benefits, where here in Nevada previously, or currently I should say, they would make $1 less per hour. So let's say they were making minimum wage now. I think I don't even know what it's at currently. Let's say it's $8.50. They would make $7.50 because the employer is providing health benefits. This ballot measure also removes from the Nevada Constitution, effective July 1st, 2024, the existing provisions adjusting the state's minimum wages rates based on the greater of certain increases in the federal minimum wage or certain increases in the cost of living measured by percentages increases in the consumer price index, with caps on the cost of living increases for the adjusted rates. However, this ballot measure requires the state's minimum wage to be increased based on applicable increases in the federal minimum wage, providing that if at any time the federal minimum wage is greater than $12 per hour worked, the state's minimum wage will increase to the amount established for the federal minimum wage unless the legislature establishes by state statute a minimum wage that is greater than federal minimum wage as permitted by federal law. Does that part make sense? So that part basically says the minimum wage is going to go up based on consumer price index. So if you look at this last year, it's been about 8%.
Yeah.
So you would have automatically gotten an 8% increase to the minimum wage. This ballot measure additionally expresses in the Nevada Constitution the existing authority of the legislature to establish by state statute a minimum wage that is greater than the minimum hourly rate required by the Nevada Constitution. If approved by the voters, this ballot measure supersedes any conflicting provisions in the state's existing minimum wage statutes, which on July 1st, 2024, require an employer to pay a minimum wage of $11 per hour worked. If the employer offers certain health benefits to non-exempt employees, or $12 per hour worked if the employer does not offer such health benefits to non-exempt employees, unless the legislature amends those existing statutes to conform to this ballot measure before that date. So a yes vote would be effective in raising the minimum wage to the $12. It would remove the existing provisions, and it would remove the provisions from the Constitution. A no vote would keep the state's minimum wage at what it currently is, subject to applicable increases or decreases provided by federal law. Blah blah blah. So,
a lot of words there.
Oh yeah. So, and I obviously didn't even read them all. So,
yeah.
What are you thinking? What do you feel about the $12 minimum wage starting July 1st, 2024, where then it has the ability to increase annually based on the CPI, or whenever the Nevada state legislature decides they want to increase it?
Well, after a conversation I had early this afternoon, which kind of I was because I didn't quite understand what was going on with this one, but and I was sent an article which I did. Unfortunately, I got a couple hours ago, but I wasn't able to read. But it's like most places now aren't even paying, or they're paying more already. They're but the one thing that with the benefits though is like the benefits were kind of, for the most part, kind of subpar. So it wasn't like like the benefits were. I mean, having benefits is good, but they weren't great benefits. I guess. I guess some benefits is better than no benefits. I guess. But yeah. After the conversation that I had, I was like, oh, so I mean, if they decide to raise it, it's going to be raised anyways. So it's not. So I mean, like, and your wife wrote down it's actually 1050 or 950 with benefits. So I mean, at this rate, I mean, 12, yeah, would be nice, but and then it's, it's in stone there. Um, but at the same time, um, this is one of those where I'm like, "Mm, why at this point?" Kind of like, because if there's already talk about it going up, and they've already been steadily, is that the right word? Steadily,
Steadily.
steadily raising it as is. Um, I mean, I guess this is just putting it to where 12 is kind of the backstop. That's as low as it will go. And then, they
That
can,
is why they call it a minimum wage. Yes.
yeah, that would be the backstop. So, um, I mean, I don't really know where, like, I'm kind of like, no, but at the same time, like, I'm like, because it's already working itself that way. But um, I don't know if forcing employers to pay that is is the right move. But I mean, yeah, definitely. I think they should definitely be paying people, that you know more. But you know,
So just some thoughts, from my perspective, because I'm personally a hard and fast no on the minimum wage increase, and I will always be that way. I think the market should demand what wages should be paid for a job. Um, I don't necessarily no, I don't believe that a person working, you know, uh, the cash register at McDonald's should be paid $12 an hour based on the current market and atmosphere. I think, when I think back, you all right there?
yeah, no, just a can tipped over.
All right. When I think back to, working in the restaurant industry, for example,
Right.
there are many, many servers and bartenders out there, good ones, like yourself. You were one at some point, that were making more at minimum wage of, let's say, 750 an hour at the time, plus tips, than I was making as a salaried manager.
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely some of the yeah, definitely. No, so um, no, it was more than that. I think in California at the time, I don't think it was 750 at the time. I don't remember.
When I first started in the restaurant industry, it was about 750,
Yeah.
750, 850. My point, regardless, is that, I back then I had a girlfriend who was a bartender at Dave and Buster's,
Hmm.
who was clearing 60 grand a year
Oh
as a bartender at Dave and Buster's,
yeah,
making
place
significantly more than me.
place was popping off during that
But
time. It was
my
definitely
point
popping off.
is, my point is this, a person working in a tip position, to me, should be making the minimum wage, period. Um, but that minimum wage shouldn't just keep increasing because other jobs around. I think there are many states in the U.S. that have laws for tip positions where they can pay them less, and I think that's right. I don't think a server, making tips, uh, should be making the same as, a person that is got an entry level job, telemarketing, let's say, where they're getting paid the minimum wage as well, but all they're getting is the minimum wage. They're not getting anything additional. So I just
No
I have a
commission. And so like, but what if they were? So if what if they were getting like commissions?
then I would treat that as kind of a tipped position as well. I don't think that necessarily they should, um, enjoy the higher rate. I think, ultimately, I think $12 an hour is a bit ludicrous, especially when inflation is going up, and it's proven that when you increase wages, inflation increases. This is just a fact because people have more disposable income to throw at stuff. which then drives the market up because now you have a less supply because more people are using the same dollars to try and buy stuff. So it's illogical to me. It's going to drive up the price of items, and then the argument will be that the cost of living is higher, and so now we have to increase wages again. I think you let the market decide what wages should be paid. If people don't want, and I guess if it's 10.50 an hour right now, okay. If people don't want to work for 10.50 an hour, then go find a job that pays you more.
And those are definitely available, right? I mean, like I was one of the examples I was talking about. Like I said, I had a conversation about this stuff earlier, and like In-N-Out Burger. I don't. Do they have In-N-Out Burger up there?
Yeah.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, those like In-N-Out Burger starts like 15, but In-N-Out Burger is also apparently not as easy as I thought it was. Like they have. I mean, it's easy because they only have a few items, but it like they work. You know, they're very fast paced, and so if you can't keep up, that is not the place for you. But um, yeah, they already start higher than the minimum wage pretty much everywhere that they are. I think they don't go far inland. I think they pretty much stop. I think the like Arizona and over and towards the west. Um, so I think that's as far as they go right now. But yeah, I mean, there's a number of places that start higher than what the minimum wage is already. So, like I said, I mean, for me, uh, I don't I don't see really like kind of what you said. I don't really see the point, but
I think the other
um,
thing that you really have to think about is small businesses.
yeah, and that's the other thing. I know that's tough for a lot of small businesses, like especially a mom and pop shop that may not, they have business enough, they have enough business to keep them kind of just open and pay their people and pay their bill, pay the light bills and all that kind of stuff, pay those kind of bills. So I know that can hurt them as well. So
And it's not just small businesses. I mean, announced minimum wage increases in the past have resulted in Walmart's closing or not opening new locations. You know,
really,
it- yeah.
because it seems like Walmarts are opening everywhere.
But the point is, if you go into a Walmart now, how many employees do you see versus how many did you see 5 years ago, 6 years ago? They have significantly reduced staff.
I didn't really notice it. Well, of course, I wasn't really. I mean, I would go into Walmart, but I didn't really look. I mean, until like when I was working there a couple of years back, it was I saw people, and then through the pandemic, it was So I mean, like I haven't noticed anything as far as the number of people that they have there now versus what it was a couple number of years ago. But I mean, I don't know. I think like I noticed I noticed more people coming in um over the past number of years, but I've also seen, there's been people leaving and things like that because of other job opportunities, or they were going to school and now they're out of school, and so they have they were somewhere doing nursing school, so they were going to do that kind of stuff, and so it's been kind of just an ebb and flow. So I didn't really see any decrease or increase as far as employees go, but yeah.
And I will say, I'm not sure why, but I'm not seeing any chat. So please, if you're seeing people commenting, if you could,
No, I'm no. The last thing I have in here at least was from your wife here
okay,
about the money.
okay.
So
So I think ultimately I'm going to be a no vote. I just don't see that changing. I just don't feel that I could codify. You know, I'm with question one. Going back to that previous conversation, uh, I'm not a hard and fast no. You know what I mean? It's like I'm frustrated that it's even on the ballot. I'm frustrated that there was enough pandering going around that it got to that point. I don't think it should have ever, because again, it already exists in the federal Constitution in the 14th Amendment. With this, though, to me, it's open and shut. It's hard and fast no, because I can't support increasing minimum wage. It's going to affect small businesses in this time where inflation is already so high and people are already having a hard enough time, who were just hit by the pandemic, and a lot of businesses already struggled to keep their doors open as it was.
Yeah, the ones, I mean, I will say though, the ones that figured it out during the pandemic, I give them a whole lot of credit, because like, yeah, they weren't able to have people inside, but they figured out, they were like, yo, let's make sure we have takeout. Let's make sure we have, some sort of delivery. Let's make sure we figure this part out. So like that definitely, and I know it hit a lot of places stupid hard. So, but yeah, no, I'm kind of with you on this. I'm kind of with you on this one. After my conversation, I was kind of like, so it's not really, it would just kind of just set it at that. And so, but yeah, but like I said, I pretty much agree with you on this one.
All right, let's move on to a question number 3. This is the first time Nevada state citizens will be voting on this. And this is an amendment to the Nevada Constitution. Should this pass this time, then we will vote on it again in 2 years. So the way that this one is worded: shall the Nevada Constitution be amended to allow all Nevada voters the right to participate in open primary elections to choose candidates for the general election, in which all voters may then rank the remaining candidates by preference for the offices of U.S. Senator, U.S. Representative, Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Secretary of State, State Treasurer, State Controller, Attorney General, and State Legislature? So I enjoy the wording on this one, and I enjoy the misrepresentation on this one. I don't know if you've noticed, but there have been a lot of commercials out there where they're trying to use veterans, for example, and say,
I fought for the right to vote, but I'm not allowed to vote in primaries because
I'm an independent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, nobody said you have to be. Part of the privilege of voting for the primary is because you are a part of that party,
right?
Whether that's Republican, Democrat, Green, whatever.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure you can probably already tell by my tone in there of which way I'm going. But let's read the ballot summary real quick.
Yeah.
So this initiative, if enacted, changes Article 5 and 15 of Nevada's Constitution for U.S. congressional, and it lists all the positions, eliminating partisan primaries and establishing an open top 5 primary election and a ranked choice voting general election.
Yeah.
For these offices, all candidates and voters participate in a single primary election, regardless of party affiliation or non-affiliation. The top 5 finishers, even if they're all Democrat or all Republican or all independent, the top 5 finishers advance to the general election, and the general election winner is determined by ranked choice voting. Yay, California. General election
Not just
voters,
California.
No, in New York. General election
and
voters,
Alaska.
General election voters will rank the candidates in order of preference from first to last if they wish to rank more than just their first preference. As currently provided for during certain primary races, a general election candidate receiving first choice votes of more than 50% is declared winner. If no candidate is the first choice or more than 50% of the voters in the general election, the candidate with the fewest votes is eliminated. Each voter who has ranked the now eliminated candidate as their first choice has their single vote transferred to the next highest choice candidate. This tabulation process repeats until the one candidate with more than 50% support is determined as the winner.
Oh my God.
If passed, the legislature would need to adopt implementing legislation by July 1st, 2025. These changes would go into effect for the 2026 election cycle, starting with the primary election in June of 2026. A yes vote would amend Article 5 and 15 of the Nevada Constitution. A no vote would retain the provisions that currently exist.
God no.
Yeah, my biggest problem with this one is, as I just said, you could end up with 5 Democrats, 5 Republicans, 5
Well,
independents.
not even that. It's just the fact that uh, shenanigans could ensue. Like, you could have the Democrats vote for, and this is what my like I said, I've mentioned this conversation I had earlier today, but that's how I was kind of trying to make sure how everything was going on. And it's somebody who works with, not within the legislature, um but talks with the legislature, and it was one of those things where it was like, oh God no. Like like, after, if this last election, like the 2020 election, didn't teach us anything, like, people already are having issues. Some people don't trust it. Some people are already like, oh, he didn't lose. He still won, and votes were stolen, and blah blah blah. This is just another. This, I mean, literally, it's like, okay, so now we're gonna take. And you already know how I am with math. We've already discussed this before, but
So good. So good
so
at
good.
math.
But you're gonna take that. You're gonna take these kind of simplistic. Well, they're not even really simplistic, but you're gonna take these rules that we've already had, and then you're going to add something else into them, and it just makes it so much more, I feel, convoluted. That
You feel what?
Convoluted.
Convoluted, ladies and gentlemen. Convoluted is what James feels.
Like, everything is that not the right word?
I think
Convoluted.
the word you're looking for is convoluted.
Oh, my bad. Convoluted.
Yes.
I've just been saying it wrong. But yeah, no, it just makes everything more difficult. And I just think that if you're independent, by all means, like, be independent. And let's make sure, like, I think that the two-party system is kind of a mess anyways. And a good candidate from a third party would definitely shake things up. But I don't know. I just think that this is not the way to go, honestly. So I
No.
think, like you said, there could be some definite, like, yeah, I don't agree with having, 5 Democrats. I don't agree with having 5 public Republicans. I don't agree with having, like, I think the person, like, if you're a Republican, you vote in Republican primaries. If you're a Democrat, you vote in the Democratic primaries. I mean, I know there's independent candidates out there, so I mean, get them on the ballot, and then you would actually have a candidate to vote for as an independent, and then
Well,
they would all go up
the
against
whole
each
point of
other.
being independent is that you're not a part of a party. That's why you
Oh,
have the Green Party. That's why you have other things.
I thought.
Independents are not part of parties.
Oh, my bad. I thought there was an independent. My bad. I don't know why I didn't realize there wasn't an independent party. I thought there was. I thought that was like its own kind of group.
No, not so much.
Okay, they just not non-affiliate.
Yeah, I think get off the fence. If you want to vote in the Republican primary, be a Republican. If you want to vote in the Democrat primary, be a Democrat. If you want to be an independent, then be an independent. You don't get to have a voice in either of those primaries. That's just the
Now,
I think the way it is and should be.
Is there a because I've never seen anything for like Green Party or anything on anything, as far as, like, when you go to the DMV and you
If you
declare
choose,
declare
there's
how
tons
you.
of parties you can choose as your political affiliation.
Okay. I mean, I guess I've never, maybe because I never really looked at it.
And same thing, if you chose Green Party, you would not get to vote in the Republican or Democrat primary.
Right.
You'd vote in the Green Party primary if there was one.
Right. So, I mean, personally, that's get off the. What's the term? I'm not going to say the either poop or get off the pot.
Yes. Yes, indeed. So interesting, because when we spoke earlier, in preparation of tonight, I just wanted to kind of gauge where your head was at that point. And when we talked earlier, you were pretty much a yes across the board.
No, this was one I wasn't sure about. I was yes across the board. until well, I was yes, yes, and then wasn't sure. But then after the conversation I had, I was definitely a no on this one. I'm again, like I'm not like you said earlier, I'm not a solid yes, I'm not a solid no on number two. And but yeah, so but yeah.
Yeah, it's always interesting to talk politics with James because he's one of the worst ill-informed individuals you'll meet. Um, but I'm glad that because of this process, hopefully you've educated yourself a little bit.
Yeah, no,
Um,
definitely. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I
and
mean,
still, vote your conscience, even if
yeah.
it's wrong. Um, I find it interesting. There's a lot of rhetoric out there where people say vote your conscience, but then you'll tell them how you're going to vote. Well, how can you do that?
What?
Because I'm
Yeah,
voting my
I voted my
conscience.
conscience. Like,
Yeah, it's just interesting. Today I actually spent some time watching the governor debate for the state of Nevada between Sisolak and Lombardo that was done actually down in Vegas a couple weeks ago, and it was entertaining to say the least. It was um, the way the debates are done today, whether they're presidential or whether they're local community kind of debates, there it's pathetic. It's really just an exercise in who can sling as much mud, whether it's factual or not. And that's both
yeah,
sides. That's not one
yeah,
side or the
no,
other.
that's not one side or the other. No, that's very true. Or like they'll throw a question out, and then but there will be like like if somebody says something, there's zero follow up on. There's like no follow up and things like that. So yeah, no, I haven't. I do need to watch that. I do need to watch that one. Um, especially, but like yeah, I've just seen some of like yo, this is ridiculous. How some of the stuff that's happened, especially since the last presidential election and things like that. It's been crazy. This whole thing has been I don't know. It's just been a whole lot of hoopla.
Agreed. Well, before we dive into our normally scheduled content, let's
Now back to our regularly scheduled content.
let's have a quick break.
Hey.
Ladies and gentlemen, I now introduce the funniest person I know. Me! I'm not wearing underwear today. No, I'm not wearing underwear today. Ha! Not that you probably care much about my underwear. Still, nonetheless, I gotta say that I'm not wearing underwear today.
Get a job.
Thank you, honey. But don't move a muscle, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with our headline performer.
And now for your headline performers, Fat and Black.
Oh man, yeah. I've only gone without underpants one time, and it was very uncomfortable, actually.
Only once in your entire life.
Yeah,
Interesting.
only once. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I swore never to do that again because, if I had button jeans at the time, cool. But yeah, no, zippers and zippers and no draws. That's it gets scary.
Interesting. So obviously we spent the first almost hour having some serious political conversation, which is different for us.
No, I don't know how to do that.
And now we'll talk about what we go from high classy conversation talking about political things and trying to sound like we're smarter than we are. And now let's talk about what James wanted to talk about.
Yo,
This is what James wanted to talk about.
yo.
Grown men smacking themselves with frying pans.
Now, I don't know. Have you seen the quesadilla slap? Have you seen those
No.
videos? Oh, you haven't seen those videos? All right. So like, there's been this trend I don't even know if it's a trend or just silliness on the internet, Instagram and YouTube and TikToks, all that kind of stuff. They've been basically you take a sip of water and you slap each other with tortillas. And I mean, they've been pretty funny just kind of watching it because, like, sometimes they'll hit them hard and then the tortilla just rip and stuff like this. But I saw this and I was like, yo, this is if we're getting to a point where like we are hitting each other with cast iron pans now, I don't know. This might have gone too far. I mean, yes, they are wearing these medieval helmets, but I'm like, yo, I don't even know.
Yes, and I assume this is at some kind of Ren fair, and I love the
Yeah,
people in the background, what they're wearing,
yeah.
because it is not Ren fairish.
No, the Ren Fair is like, it's not for you to, you don't have to dress up.
Yes, you do.
You don't have to. It's there. I mean, there's people that show up to Ren Fair in Star Trek outfits, talking about they're on like a holodeck or something, or they've landed on some planet that's still in medieval times. But no, I've never been to a Ren Fair. But like, honestly, if I saw this, I'd probably stop and watch this for a while because it's pretty funny to me.
And next up, our racist friend James here wanted to point out that he believes that
Wow.
there's something
Wow.
going on with Disney and their hatred, I'm guessing, towards black people, because
No, I'm not talking about
you pointed
hatred.
out that
I'm not
in
talking about
Kanto.
there's
Hold
no
on, let me
hatred.
finish. You can say what you want. Let me finish. You pointed out, and this was your comment on our page, not me.
Yeah.
That in Kanto at the Hollywood Bowl, the only other time you've seen them do this is with Coco. I think I see a trend. So what are you insinuating?
No, I was saying I see it like it seemed like a trend to me. Like,
A trend of what? What is the trend that you're saying you see?
they're doing their movies, but actually that was a Pixar movie. This is a Disney movie, and so like what I'm trying to figure out is like, I are they going to do other movies? Like I would have thought Frozen would have been something they would do this way, where they do like kind of in concert. They might have some images and things like that up, but like with the actors. Well, actually, no. The Coco one. The funny part about that one. The funny part about the Coco one was that the young man who played Coco had actually, he had grown up and his voice had changed. So they ended up actually having his younger brother do his stuff from Coco because his voice had changed since the movie had been filmed, and they did this a couple years after. This is actually, wait, when did Encanto come out? Was that a year ago? 2 years ago?
I believe 2020.
Yeah, so like 2 years ago. So I would pretty much everybody was older, their voices had changed, and as much as they were going to change at that point, I guess. So they should probably have the same actors and actresses that they had for that film doing this. But like I thought like, for sure, like Frozen would have been something they would do this way.
There, to be clear, there have been many of these done at the Hollywood Bowl. They've done it with Nightmare Before Christmas. They've done it with Beauty and the Beast. They've done it with numerous Disney films. This is not only the second time that they've ever done this, and it's not a racist thing of them only pandering to Hispanics, as you're trying to claim.
I wasn't claiming that. I was saying there is a trend because I've like the ones that I've seen have only been these two films.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even talking about
so only because
Frog or anything. I wasn't even talking about because I
so it is
I'm not talking. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking.
So you're saying if you didn't see it, it didn't happen.
Kind of. But one of the things, like I mean, I would have thought like I would love to see this with the rest of their movie, like not the rest of their movies, but going forward, especially if they're movies that are such big attractions, like Encanto was, like Coco, but like like Frozen 2, Frozen. I would love to see something like
Frozen
that.
on Broadway is not good enough for you.
I don't know. I kind of like the way these are set up with the kind of the concert. The Frozen, I saw pieces of the Frozen play on Broadway, and not. They're very great actresses and actors, but I just was not. Some of the stuff I just wasn't feeling, but the one thing I do like is that when they're writing these musicals based on Disney films and stuff like that, they actually get whoever worked on the music to actually, if they're adding new songs to the show, for example, they will go to those people and be like, okay, let's, we would like to create a new song. And so like for, with Aladdin, they added some new stuff and changed some things up, and they got Alan Menken and Tim Rice for Lion King. I think Alan Menken, Tim Rice, like, so they've been
Not
they
Elton
got
John.
I don't remember if Elton John was involved in that one, or I mean, I know he's involved in the actual for the soundtrack, but I don't know if was he involved on the Broadway show? I don't remember.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I just saying, like those things I'm okay with, but like I think the way they did the Hollywood Bowl thing, where it's kind of a concert of just the songs and stuff like that, I really liked. I would like to see them do it with more of their films. Like Coco and Encanto, I love the music. Don't get me wrong, I definitely love the music. But I mean, like I said, Beauty and the Beast, great music. I would love to see Aladdin done this way. I would love to see and bring some of the Broadway guys to do it. That'd be awesome too. I'd love to see some of the stuff from Tangled. I'd love to see Princess and the Frog. I'd love to see a lot of these shows done in a concert like this. I think that'd be really awesome.
Okay. Let's move on to non-racist rhetoric. So we got a new trailer today for Avatar: The Way of Water. Honestly, I still have no idea. I still have no idea what's going on.
I thought the teaser was better almost.
I don't disagree. I think because this did nothing to get me more engaged or interested.
I mean, I've been interested since I knew they were doing sequels to Avatar. And so, I've been interested in Avatar since I saw the first one, but this one, this trailer kind of confused me because I was like, yo, where was the kind of you remember in the teaser it almost looked like
half human, half
Navi. Half human, half Navi like kid, and then in this one for that one it kind of seemed like it was a male. In this one it clearly was, or I can't say clearly. It seemed like it was a female, but I wasn't really sure. And then it's just like, I mean, don't get me, the images are absolutely stunning.
Oh no, it looks beautiful, but I still have no idea what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I'm still very confused. Basically, I guess these water tribes, they're like, don't bring your war here. I did see that, but this did nothing to really like answer. I mean, I guess it's not meant to answer questions. It's just meant to like engage. But I was like, I don't know. I mean, like, I'm still planning to see this, but this trailer did nothing for me.
Yeah,
this trailer did nothing for me.
We also got another trailer for one that I know you're hyped up for, Disenchanted.
Yeah, man, if you haven't seen Enchanted, it's not one of my favorites. Let me stop lying. Yes, it is one of my favorites because it's pretty much like it's a callback, and they kind of wrapped a lot of the old school Disney princesses into one character and they took scenes directly from older Disney films and made them CGI for the real world of New York. And so I love Amy Adams. I love Patrick Dempsey, Idina Menzel, James Madison. Yeah. Why am I blanking on her name right now? Maya Rudolph. Whew, man. I love this cast. I'm very interested to see. I kind of like the way that she kind of turns into the evil stepmother type deal. She wants her the fantasy world that she came from is not what she's living in now, and so she wants to change it all. So I'm interested to see how Disenchanted works.
Yeah, I'll just don't care. I'm not for it, not against it.
Hey, oh, question. Speaking of, did you watch Werewolf by Night?
I have not yet.
Oh, yeah, I watched it. It's weird. That's all
Yeah,
there is.
do I need to watch it before like Black Panther? Do you think?
No, I don't think you do. There's a part of me that thinks that they might roll this into something because there is they mentioned that it's called the Bloodstone, and
Elsa Bloodstone, right? She's
right.
in it, and
And
so I have no doubt that it's going to get
incorporated. There's going to be incorporated somehow. I'm not sure how. And then the character that played the werewolf, and then there was this monster that was also in it. So I'm assuming that they'll probably come in somehow maybe sooner than later, but I don't know. But take a look at it. It's just it's less than an hour, so it's not like you're wasting a whole bunch of time.
No, I plan to watch it.
It's interesting. It's not like, oh, this is awesome. But
it's just not my style of stuff. And I think the first Marvel thing that I have not made sure to watch in the first week in years. So
yeah, I watched this. I happened to watch it the other night. And I was like, okay, it's entertaining. It's not like, if this had come out.
You know when the last time was that I didn't see something the first week it came out? It was Endgame. And do you know why?
Oh, because the theaters were crazy at that point in time.
No, because my kid was born. I had tickets to go on the opening Saturday that Endgame came out, and my kid was born on that day.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So yeah, I had a good reason to
you definitely did have a good reason. Yeah, I mean, I know, man, I don't know if I could have done like some of these people. I don't know if you heard about this, but when Endgame came, because it was Infinity War and then Endgame. When an Endgame came out, they had actually done a thing, and I went to the first one of these when the first Avengers came out. They showed all the movies leading up to Avengers in a day, and we got there at I think it was 8 or 9 in the morning, and we stayed basically till midnight. But some theaters, I know there was one in LA that was pretty much it was 24/7. Like they were showing all the movies leading up to Endgame. And I was like, no, thank you. And so there was I don't think everybody, but there was a couple people that stayed for the entire thing. And I was like, what? Ew.
Well, when you think about it, if they're going back to back with let's say a 10-15 minute intermission between each film, you're really only talking about at that point 2-ish days worth of content. I'm just saying, you could nap, you could sleep during a couple. I would probably take a good long nap during Thor: The Dark World.
During Thor, I took a little nap, and I was up for pretty much everything else. But yeah, no, I was just like, okay, cool, I guess. But I understood why they did it, and I don't know how much those tickets were. I wish I had actually seen the price of those tickets, because when I went to go see that one, it was pretty much I think it was under $20, and it was all the movies. And there was deal. You had a wristband or whatever, and that got you deals on hot dogs and drinks and popcorn and stuff like that in the theater. But me, I had a backpack because they didn't care about that day. They did not care if you brought snacks and stuff with you. I had a little backpack with me, and I had snacks and stuff like that in there. So,
but you did have in and out privileges, right? You could have gone over to eat at Applebee's or whatever.
Yeah. No, there were some people that did that, so you didn't have to come in and out. But yeah, that was a long, long day. And I was like, I'm never doing this again.
Well, let's talk about an upcoming documentary that I am super excited for, uh,
Yo,
and that is a Disney documentary, of course. Mickey, the Story of a Mouse. We got a new trailer for this as well.
the trailer for that, if you watch that and do not want to see this, something's wrong with you. Because like I mean, like, of course, some people know, some people don't know about, how Mickey wasn't, Walt's first creation or whatever. And Mickey wasn't originally even his name, like
First, we had Oswald, and then his original name was Mortimer.
Mortimer, and that would have been super weird. But then, if you've watched later cartoons, Mortimer actually is another mouse, but he's kind of a sleazy, kind of a sleazeball.
Mhm.
But no, I mean, like, just that preview, that trailer was just like, yo, that is crazy.
Yeah, I enjoyed the trailer, and then of course I went, to the page to find some good images, and
That is a great picture, man.
I love this picture of Mickey walking down Main Street towards the castle. Um, we've obviously belabored this to death over the time we've been doing the show, but we're huge Disney fans. We
Yeah,
love we
yeah.
love just about everything Disney. If that's not clear in our content,
One of the things though, I really hope they show those old school Mickey Mouse, the walk around characters. 'Cause some
oh
of
man,
those old ones look so funny, because it's like when I look at those, I think of the people walking around on the strip with with Mickey Mouse costumes on and stuff, like the heads and stuff, because they're not good. Like, but the old ones, I mean, I think they were trying to do the best they could. But you see the new ones now, they're amazing. And
the
then
blinking eyes, and
but are those the ones that are out? Because I know they have the ones that their mouths move and their eyes blink, and that's for the shows.
no, they use those ones. Not obviously all of them, but like Mickey and Minnie, when they're out, usually they have the blinking eyes and mouth moving ones.
Oh wow.
Unless it's just your classic meet and greet, like where
Yeah.
if it's just a classic meet and greet, then no, usually it's pretty much the
Yes.
stationary stuff.
Right.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be a show. It could just be a quick parade where they're and this happens where they just hop on the cars and go down Main Street and
Right. And that's I just never I've only seen that. I've only seen when I saw the blinking eyes and the talking, I was like, yo, like they might be listening to me, because I had that I had that idea where the people inside could actually talk to the children with the mouths moving, and not even it wasn't really the blinking eyes or anything, but the mouths moving, so where they could talk to them, but the voice would change to be Mickey or Minnie or Donald, whoever, so they could actually have more interaction with the kids. But the kids don't really need it.
no.
It's the one of the funniest things I've seen. I was watching something. It wasn't even the Sesame Street documentary, but I was watching something where they were talking about how when they bring the kids to Sesame Street, and there obviously there's a person right there with their hand in the puppet and moving the mouth and moving the arms and things like that, talking with the child. The child I mean, they know that the person's there, but they do not care that the person is there. They are engaged with Elmo or Grover or whoever they're talking to. That is who they are with. That other person might as well not even be in the room at that point.
Yeah.
But I thought that's so interesting. And so, yeah, like these characters don't even have to talk. And these kids are so enthralled by them. Some of them are freaked out by them. No. Was your daughter, was she okay with them or no?
Oh yeah, it was something I was slightly worried about. She's still on the younger side, and so taking her, uh, the first one that she saw and engaged with was Goofy,
Oh,
and because we went to Goofy's kitchen at the
okay.
Disneyland
Yeah.
Hotel,
Yeah.
and so right away before you even get to go eat, they have like a meet and greet with Goofy. You get to take pictures and then you go.
Oh, okay.
And so I didn't know how it was going to go. We lined up. There was like two families or whatever ahead of us, and I was there with her, and I said, okay, we're up next. As soon as they tell us to come over, let's go over and say hi to Goofy. And you could tell she was not scared, but she was like in awe because you could already see him. He was right there,
He's a lot bigger than on TV.
right? But as soon as they told us we could go on over, she like ran up and gave him a hug.
Oh,
So I
nice.
was like, okay, this
Cool.
is
So we're
this is
good.
going to be
We're
good.
okay.
Well,
Yeah.
and especially because at the dinner, it's all the characters come around. So at that dinner, we had Minnie, Chip, uh, I don't even remember. We had a bunch of characters who came around to the table, and they come and they'll take pictures with you and sign your
Nice.
autograph book and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And so it was like, okay, I really hope this goes well because otherwise it could make dinner very traumatic. And this was before we were going to the park.
I
So
don't want to eat anything at all.
well, and not only that, but like we hadn't even gone to the park yet. Like this was Sunday night. We were going to the park Monday morning,
Oh, nice. Okay.
and so this was her first exposure,
Nice.
and so it really it was a really good experience. And then of course, going to the parks the next 2 days, and getting to see Donald and Minnie and all of the other characters. We didn't go out of our way to like go to Princess Fairy Tale Hall
Right.
or whatever.
Right.
I'll probably do that next time we go, just so she can see Elsa and Anna. But in general, it was a really good experience, and I was just very happy with the way. And it's Disney.
Yeah.
They don't generally screw up, and so it was an expensive dinner. I'm not going to lie, but it was worth the price
Right. And
for
then,
the experience.
right. And so she actually got used to the characters and everything else. So that's good. Because I know when I was a kid, at least my mom tells me I wasn't super thrilled about it. But also like one of the first characters one of the first characters that I know that I know of that's in my mind was the big bad wolf from the Three Little Pigs,
Mm.
and he took my hat. I do remember he took my hat, and I was not super thrilled about that. But yeah, no, after that I was kind of like, oh, okay, I get it. But yeah, like it reminds me of you remember the old during the Disney Christmas Day parade, they used to have those commercials for Disney World, and there was one with the brothers, and they were getting ready to go to Disney World. He's like, now I just gotta let you know, when you see Mickey, he's not like the size on TV. He's huge.
I don't remember that commercial, but
Yeah. I remember that commercial vividly. I remember and I was like, oh, that's very true. Like he is not, he's this big on TV, but when you see him, he's taller than you in most cases.
yeah. Well, speaking about childhood characters, we also this last week got a new trailer for this one.
Oh man.
I really do not like this poster that they made. I feel like all of their faces just don't make sense. And I mean, the girl in the back got stank face. The boy's like, the boy looks like,
Uh-oh, I
guess
just
what I
fooded.
guess what I did with my mom. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know about that one.
I just don't like this picture. I feel like
This is not. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really mind it. But yeah, no, the trailer was really good. Actually, the teaser trailer again for this one, I think, was more entertaining than this new trailer. The new trailer gave me a little bit more. But I'm interested to see like how this whole thing goes. Where I think he's like, people don't believe in me anymore, but so I'm gonna retire. So I need to find somebody else to replace me, and because I guess he didn't want to slip off the roof and and disappear. But no, I'm interested because and one of the things I heard, I don't know if it's official or not, but and I don't know, I couldn't remember if he's in the trailer. The guy that originally played Bernard, did they get him back?
he will be showing up, and evidently, James, as I mentioned already, I don't have access to the comments, but there are a lot of comments that have been being made. been told.
Yeah, no, it's something. Let's see. Tyra said, "Did you see the little girl who mean mugged Snow White while she was eating?" I don't. I guess that might be a YouTube thing.
Yeah,
And then
I've seen one where it was the queen, the evil queen, got mean mugged, but I haven't seen one where Snow White got mean mugged.
and then he says he just got home, so I can type responses now.
Oh, okay.
But
That's it.
no,
Okay.
that's all. That's all we have. But no, I think it's. I don't know. I'm interested. It's it's going to be like a short series, right? So
It sounds like, yeah, it's going to be maybe a micro series, 6 episodes.
I really liked the Santa Claus. Okay, let me get a couple things clear. I like the Santa Claus, and I like the Santa Claus 2, which was like, I guess you could put in the Mrs. Claus. Santa Claus 3. I like Martin Short. I like Tim Allen. I like the concept of Jack Frost trying to take over Christmas. But it was a good movie, but it wasn't like my favorite Santa Claus. So I'm really hoping that they did something with this one that makes it good. And there, because this whole thing too is that the replacement Santa Claus isn't the first time he's done this in these films. If you remember, in the second film, he had the kind of like the robot Santa Claus, and he kind of made everything not so good. So I'm hoping that we'll see what they do with this one, because it looks like he well, from the trailer, it looked like he was interviewing people to be Santa.
Well, and I'm looking at the
and Matt Murray actually says, I didn't really like Santa Claus 3. So yeah, right, the same.
Looking at the fact sheet provided by Disney, it does not state how many episodes there will be, but it does say it is a live action scripted limited series by 20th Television. But normally on these they say how many episodes there will be, but it doesn't say here. So
yeah, so I mean, it's coming very soon. It'll be out for the holiday season, so gather around, watch it with the family. Did they say if they're dropping them all, or is there like a release date?
Doesn't say.
Okay.
And I think the release date was in the picture. Yeah, 2 episodes premiere on November 16th.
Okay, so it'll be by Christmas time it'll be finished for sure.
Yeah, and since we have Tyrus available and free to type, I guess he'll probably be chiming in a lot here. Let's talk about this piece of garbage. This is an image or images from the God of War official trailer that just dropped a couple days ago. And the only reason we're talking about this is because one of our special guests that we've had host a couple times, Tyrus, is probably the biggest fanboy I know of out there for God of War. And this trailer, which really isn't a trailer, it's a group therapy session between Ben Stiller, LeBron James, and John Travolta, and their children.
Yeah. I was asking before, I was like, are those actually their kids? Because I don't know, but
yeah, I believe they are.
Yeah.
What did you think of this trailer, James?
I was kind of like, what? Like, show me stuff from the game. Like, I mean, yeah, I found it kind of funny, but I was like, I mean, it was funny for like the first couple moments, but then it was like it did get old kind of quick. It was not like and I love Ben Stiller, love John Travolta, love LeBron James, but like this was and I'm talking about LeBron James the actor, not LeBron James. I mean, I do like him as a basketball player too, but yeah, no, this was kind of like it started off funny, and then it just kind of got, okay, let's see gameplay, or let me see something from the game, and they didn't do that until like the last couple seconds of this whole trailer, which I was like, if this is an official trailer, this is not great for me.
No, and one of the things that I commented,
Tyra says shots fired.
One of the things I commented about on our page is that you don't see Assassin's Creed having to do this kind of crap.
Yeah.
You don't see the pandering. uh, to the lowest common denominator through some crap comedy sketch with John Travolta, who nobody cares about anymore, LeBron James,
Whoa.
who shouldn't be acting, and Ben
Whoa.
Stiller, who retired and should have stayed retired. Um,
Whoa.
hey, I'm not commenting on Ben Stiller's old stuff. I'm talking about this was not good.
No.
This was not good for him. This was not good for any of these three.
Matt Murray says, "Is this supposed to be a spoof movie or of the game?" And I was like, and that is really unclear. I think like it's supposed to be kind of some. It seems like it's some counseling session,
Yeah, it
kind of.
seems to be like this is follow Kratos to be a good father. And anybody who played the first game knows Kratos he's not the worst father, but he's not a good one. And
Tough love. It's super tough love.
yeah, let's go with that.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. Like, yeah, like you said, Assassin's Creed doesn't have to do this. And I think like if they had done like a little bit of this, it would have been like maybe they did Ben Stiller, they did John Travolta, they did a LeBron James piece because for the most part it seemed like it was just Ben Stiller and John Travolta talking. And then all of a sudden like, oh LeBron, like you've been really quiet, and it's just like what? And then it's like, yo, just show me. I just want to see some shots of the game and things like that. That's what I want to see. I don't need to see all this.
Yeah, and I can't really think of many, if any, other video games, period, that have done this kind of garbage.
And then Tyrus actually he says this was going to be funny, then it sucked. So he admits that it was not good.
How was it no, I don't understand. This was going to be funny? Like,
did they announce this? Was this something that they announced that they were going to be doing? And then it didn't turn out great? Because, like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I love Ben Stiller, love John Travolta, love LeBron James. But this was too long for a game trailer. If you're going to give me a game trailer, give me like something like they gave me for Modern Warfare, which was like just all action under like, I think that was I don't remember which one it was, but they used Till I Collapse. And I was like, yo, like this almost makes me want to play this game, even though I'm not good at first person shooters. But like that's what I'm talking about. Like give me a trailer, like parts of the game, some fight sequences, some Kratos using his, I don't know if he still uses the blades or not, but like picking up a monster and breaking it over his knee and stuff like that. That's the kind of things I want to see.
Yeah, I don't know what to say anymore. Tyrus, ever since you have tried to defend this game series, they just seem to
keep letting you down, my man.
Yeah, I'm sorry. So one thing that I posted this last week was an interview. I think it was on EW Entertainment Weekly with Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni, the main guys leading up the television side of Star Wars universe.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if you've not watched this, you need to go and watch it. This is an amazing interview. Well, it's not really an interview, but they're answering the questions and stuff like that. Like you need to go see it. It's good. It's really
so they're
good.
answering questions, but it's not an interview. Okay.
Oh, I don't know if they were. It didn't seem like an interview. It seemed like they were just like reading, like answering questions that they might have been asked that we don't hear. So
that's not an interview.
It almost seemed like most of it was them talking to each other. Like it just seemed like a conversation they were having backstage or something because I think was it from D23?
No, this was recent. This was in the last week.
Oh, okay. So yeah, it looked like just a conversation they were having.
Well, what they were really talking about is the future of Star Wars and where things are kind of heading up to, which is interesting because it was just announced this last week as well that Disney, parent company of Lucasfilm, where Star Wars is housed out of,
right,
basically told Kathleen Kennedy, who's the president over at Lucasfilm, you're not allowed to make announcements anymore.
Yeah, because
Uh,
we talked about this last week. That's one of the things that we talked about. Hey, can you move that the little ghost in the house thing? Because yeah, you keeps blocking you.
So at D23, which was not that long ago,
Right.
this is Kathleen Kennedy with the images behind her where they were talking about upcoming properties for Star Wars or for
Right.
Lucasfilm, I should say,
Lucasfilms, yeah.
because you've got Willow and Indiana Jones and Children of Blood and Bone. Um, so ultimately, here we've got some products that we've actually gotten, such as Obi-Wan Kenobi, Andor. Willow's about to
Visions,
release. Bad Batch season 1 happened. Season 2 is happening. Um,
Star Wars Vision,
Visions.
and The
Yep.
Mandalorian is continuing.
But just about everything else, as far as we've heard, has pretty much been canceled.
Yeah.
The Droid Story, Rogue Squadron, Lando, Rangers of the New Republic, The Acolyte.
Wait, what was even was Droid Story C-3PO and R2D2, or was this like new droids? Do you know?
I'm not sure, and
Yeah.
if
We
Brian is out there, I'm sure he can let us know.
But all I know is, and then like but like with watching that interview they talk about they have a new show that they're working on called Skeleton Crew, which actually sounds pretty interesting. And then I think they were talking about Ahsoka and the continuation of Mandalorian. So yeah.
Yeah. So ultimately, there's a good reason why they've told Kennedy that she's not allowed to announce things anymore, because as a fan of Star Wars universe, it's you, and it's not just television, right? We've been told
there was
gonna be a
movies supposed to be coming and
Taika
stuff like that.
Waititi movie, and that's gone now. We were
Well,
told
I think that was did that happen after Love and Thunder, or was that
Yes.
before?
Well, it was announced before Love and Thunder that he was going to do it, and since Love and Thunder's come out and it was abysmal, they've canceled that.
Yeah. Right.
And there's been some negative press about him personally as a director and not being so good. So,
Oh, I didn't hear about that. Like,
yeah,
I didn't hear that part. I just heard that with Love and Thunder, it didn't go well, so they weren't going to be bringing him back, which I think it's kind of it's not completely his fault. I mean, there is script writing involved, so
except he wrote the script, and we were also
Never mind.
told that Rian Johnson was going to be getting a trilogy of Star Wars films, and that evidently has fallen through as well. So
when was that announced?
That was announced years ago. 2 years ago, probably.
I don't remember that one.
So ultimately, all of this to say that really, I think they need to focus on the television product with Dave and John. And if they want to do films, let Dave and John head those up too, because they're killing it.
Oh,
they're absolutely killing it.
Like The Mandalorian has been hands down just one of my favorite Star Wars properties. Obi-Wan Kenobi was amazing. I liked
Andor has been amazing.
Andor has been amazing. I really enjoyed the Bad Batch season 1. I cannot wait for Bad Batch season 2. Visions was they were, it was different. It was like anime versions of these stories from different directors, and there were some that I didn't care for, but there, for a good number of them, I really enjoyed those. So I think they said they were going to be doing another round of those.
Yes, in the there is going to be a Vision season 2.
Yeah, and but yeah, all these other shows. I mean, like a Droid Story. I don't know how I feel about that, but
I'll just go watch Droid.
Yeah, Rogue Squadron, like that sounds like it could have been kind of cool. Acolyte seems like it would have been something like kind of the rebuilding of the Sith, maybe with the Inquisitors or something. Some more Inquisitors, or not more Inquisitors, but based around the Inquisitors. Lando, I love Billy D from the original. I liked Glover in Han Solo, but I mean a Lando film or series could have been interesting, but I guess that Republic. I have no idea what the heck that would even be about.
That one was actually going to focus around. I can't remember what her name is now. She was in the first 2 seasons of Mando, but then she evidently said some things that upset people, and they canceled her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Gina, whatever her name was.
yeah, the MMA girl.
Yeah.
So that series was supposed to revolve around her, and when they decided to cancel her, that kind of put the kibosh on that show.
No, that kind of sucks.
So yeah,
Gina Carano. That's right.
yes,
I think. Yeah, I think you're right, Sebastian, on that one.
that sounds correct. And we got Sebastian checking in.
Yeah.
You know who Sebastian is? Do you know who Sebastian is, James?
No.
Sebastian's a writer over at Murphy's Inc.
Oh.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Murphy's Inc. coming to a podcast platform near you in the very near future.
Oh man, so good.
Oh
man, logo didn't fit on the screen. What are you talking about, Tyrus? Logo fit perfectly on my screen.
It was a little expanded, but what are you gonna do? I'm glad Sebastian chimed in because it gave us the opportunity to play that theme music for Murphy's Inc.
Yes, of course.
Very excited to finally get to share that show with everyone here in the near future.
Wait, did 97 and Now make a
Oh no. Why did you?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought they should also get.
We almost went an entire episode without a reference, aside from the opening, which they get to do because they own the show now.
Right, but I'm just saying, every once in a while we got to, we've given them a shout out. I think at least once a show. So
Yeah, we don't have to. We don't.
Oh, we don't. Oh, I thought that was obligation.
No, they get that at the very beginning of the show. They get and at the
That's
end.
why
of the
they
show.
get. Oh, all right. So they get. Oh, so they get the full thing at the end and the beginning. Okay, I didn't realize. Okay.
Yeah,
cool.
let's try not to bring them up again. Thanks.
Okay, you got it.
So yeah, that's all the content we had for tonight. James, what else is going on in your life? You mentioned a lucky lady that you're going to be FaceTiming with here in the near future.
No, not a whole lot, man. Just trying to trying to keep up with everything. I started working some overtime this past week, so I'm trying to get some extra hours in there. Just trying to pad that paycheck a little bit.
Did you work on Nevada Day?
What day was that?
That would have been last Friday.
Yeah, I was there.
Did you get paid overtime for that? I don't know if because it's a federal job. I don't.
Yeah, I don't know if because state jobs. I know you guys get paid for that day.
Well, it's not just state jobs, but state jobs for sure. So you've got Veterans Day coming up next Friday.
Yeah, I definitely would get getting paid for that one.
Getting buku bucks.
Let's hope. But yeah, no, I mean, I've just been trying to just get in good with the. You know what? I wasn't happy with the move that they made with my schedule, with having me on in the afternoons. But I will say, I really enjoy my team that I work with. It's a great group. a lot of them I did my phase one training classes with. So so it's not like I'm like all alone over there. So that's kind of nice. Um, but yeah, so like I said, I was thinking I would just ride this out for the next 6 months, and then when the change comes, when we have our shift bid next, um, then I'll most likely be looking for a change. But so far so good. And like I said, I'm just gonna stick with it, and I go into work, and like I could go in miserable, but I decided, you know what, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure I just go in with a good attitude, make sure I'm happy, and make sure I give good customer service. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's all about.
Yeah, no, I think that's the right mentality. And, I think the one thing I would say selfishly is, whenever you have shift bidding again, you should just bid for your days off and take whatever shift they give you. That way we can stay consistent on this show.
No,
Uh,
that's well, the only reason that it wasn't consistent, it was because like I had what was it? I had Tuesday, Wednesday off, which I normally had Wednesday, Thursday off, and I didn't have any control of that. The only reason I didn't have any, and because I had control of the days I chose off, I chose Wednesday, Thursday, um, purposely, but the when I was training, I had no choice but to be on my trainer's schedule. Like so that wasn't my choice. That was because of my trainer schedule. But I won't have to worry about that anymore. Now I'm fully I'm fully certified, so I don't have to worry about that anymore and all that kind of good stuff. And so far so good. Like I said, I really like the guys I work with, guys and girls, I should say, I work with. Um, and so we have a great supervisors, great managers overlooking us, and so they take care of us and stuff like that. So, like you know what, like I said, I wasn't happy at the beginning, but now I'm like, you know what, I can roll with this for the next few months, and then when shift bid comes around the next time, um, I'll make sure that I can I'll have a little bit more flexibility in my schedule there, because we have a lot of new people. Well, not a lot of new people, but we have a good number of new people coming in. So my seniority's gone up some, and we actually have vacation bids coming in. So I know I have to get those in pretty soon here for because we got the cruise coming up, which we talked about last week, and we have some prior stuff. So if you are interested in the cruise, there's still time for that. So make sure you go check out the videos that we have on our YouTube page about that. If you are
Cruise, where are we going?
We are actually going to Alaska in April of next year. We're going to be hitting Juneau, Saskatchewan, or not Saskatchewan, Ketchikan, a number Glacier Bay, a number of other places. So if you were interested in that, hit us up, let us know. We can get you onto our private group for that. There is still a little bit of time for that, but hurry because the discounts and things that we have for our group is closing very, very soon. Um, so if you're interested, please hit us on that. And yeah, so I got to make sure I get that in. I also have to make sure I am going to make sure that I can get to the Rip Cook-Off next year. I'm not missing this thing again. So I'm also going to put that in as well. So yeah, that's coming up.
And Disneyland next year.
Oh, yeah, next year. Yes, 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 yes. So I gotta. Oh, dang, that's another date. Send me those dates again because I don't. I remember it's the week before Thanksgiving, but I guess I'll just look at that. And but other than that,
You know how
yeah,
to look at a calendar. Okay,
yeah, I
that's
do know how. I was like, I can look at that. But yeah, no, definitely. So, guys, if you are interested in anything that we've talked about, like our Disneyland trip, our cruise, which we've beat to death, I think at this point.
Well, and they're running out of time because if they don't sign up, it sounds like in the next month, then they can't join the group, which means they don't get that additional discount or the additional perks that come with being in our group. They can still go on the cruise if there's rooms, but they're going to be paying whatever that price is and not getting the additional benefit. So,
Yikes, that sucks. So don't do
yeah,
that.
if you want if you want, a couple $100 of onboard ship credit and discounts on top of the already really good pricing, and we've got people all over the ship. We've got people in the studio rooms, like James. We've got people in the high end haven like me. We're all over place. So
Yeah. So but Matt Murray looks like he said Disneyland. I'm there. So Matt Murray will definitely we'll get you in on that. But yeah, so we will so like I said, we will be talking about these things more as they come closer to those times. But definitely, if you're interested, let us know that you're interested, and we will make sure we keep you on our radar for those things. Other than that, I am good. I enjoyed tonight. This was a good show.
sure, yeah. What made it good versus anything else?
Oh no, I'm glad we did a little different things, we did political talk tonight, and we threw in some music from other things that we're working on, our production house, and a bunch of other things. So yeah.
Yeah. So I don't really have anything else. It's been a something. So just in case, remember, elections are next Thursday. It is your right, and it is your duty
Yes.
as a U.S. citizen, if you are one, to because we do have millions of people
Yep.
watching around the world, so not just here in the U.S. But
And millions.
yes,
Yeah.
next Thursday, please do vote. It's important. Um,
Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't care how you vote. If you vote, if you don't vote, then shut your mouth and don't ever talk about anything political.
Oh, next Tuesday, not Thursday, Mark. Tuesday.
Oh, I thought it
Your
would
wife
work.
said that.
Yeah, I know. I thought it would work.
You were trying to get people going late, weren't you? I'm here to vote. What are you talking about? That just passed. Yeah, so it's November 8th, people.
Well, here in Nevada, at least.
Well, no, all over the country. It's November 8th.
You sure?
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's the date. Early elections are open now.
Don't vote early. Things can change. You don't want to get caught with a surprise. Wait until, if you're going to vote early, fill out the ballot, but sit on it. I always say wait until the weekend before. Like, fill out your ballot on Saturday, go drive over to your polling station and drop it off. Like, you don't know what's going to happen. Like,
You never know. Yeah, it is in California. That's what Sebastian said. So, anyways, but yeah. So, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll be back again, same bat time, same bat channel next week. But until then, we'll see you.
Holla!